Carry on.
Start. Let us start.
Okay. Shall I start, sir?
Okay, first you stop sharing. Okay.
Okay, madam, start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Ramadevi from ZPHS Ramapuram, working as School Assistant English. Melacheru Mandal, Suryapet District. A very good morning and warm welcome for our today's session, that is Storied House Part 2, Grammatical Items. We are going to deal with some grammatical items which are definitely going to add some glamour to your speech and writing as well. Okay, now from now onwards, you are going to sound like native speakers of English. What do you mean by a native speaker? Yes, you're going to speak or write English as if English is your mother tongue. Believe me and put some confidence and then start preparing in a very confident way, children. Now I'm going to share my screen without any delay. Yeah. Children, in your SSC exams, where do you find it very difficult to get some marks? Even the who are getting A grade and 10 by 10 marks too will feel it very difficult for understanding and getting 5 out of 5 marks in editing paragraph. Why does it happen so? What things are going to make it very difficult? Yes, children, obviously, that is one reason the error is not highlighted like I do in the slide. That is one reason. And another reason is you cannot do this instantly. You have to prepare a lot before doing this one. You have to go through the whole lesson, all 8 units plus 3 ABCs. If you have to prepare in that way, it's very difficult. It will be a Herculean task to you. And on the same way, you move heaven and earth to prepare for this one. But here, students, today I'm going to make that easier task with confidence. Okay, now here is a passage given. How to deal, how to execute this one. Let us see now. The news that Bayaji was built a storied house spread like a cry from the rooftops. Do you feel any difficult way in this? No, because doing it a bit easier, isn't it? As I highlighted the word where you have to make a slight change. If it is not given in this way, it will be a bit difficult, and only practice can make you a very perfect man, right? Now, let us see what's going on here. After preparing this one, you are going to be a very confident writer of your exam. Now, children, first of all, you focus on the part when where the passage is given in either in a present or past or future tense. First, you focus on the tense. Then it will be easier to you to write, to attempt 2 questions very confidently, and you're going to get marks full in those 2 questions out of 5. Okay, first focus on that one, which in which tense the passage is given. The news that Bayaji was build a house. After seeing was in this, what can you understand? Yes, exactly. The passage is given in a past tense, in the past tense, right? Now, after was and were, is, am, or, what thing we are going to add to verb? Yes, it is ing form, which is missing there on the slide. The news that Bayaji was building a storied house spread like a cry from the rooftops. Okay, children, how can we know that adding that ing form? One is by reading continuously. If you have a habit of reading, it will be very easy for you to understand what to use and where to use, what to avoid in that paragraph. Okay, now shall I move on to the next one? There was only one storied house in the village, and that belonged to Kondiba Patil. As I told you earlier, the passage is given in the past tense. Then belong is the present word. So we should not use that one. We have to use ed to that. That belonged to Kondiba Patil. Children, if you read the sentence twice or thrice, it will be easily identified. Okay, no need of even focusing on the error. You can understand by reading it. Continuous practice is very much necessary to answer this question, children. Don't forget that one. But using some tips, if you want to get at least 3 out of 5, it is the way, as I told you before, whether it is given present, past or future, seeing that is one important thing. And another one is preparing for at least some prepositions, where to use, what preposition to use in this sentence. If you know that one, you will be getting 1 more mark. See, already 2 are given on the basis of the tense, and 1 more is given on the basis of preposition. See, children, that Bayaji, an untouchable creature, should think for a rival storied house was too much for Kondiba to bear. Think for, think of. Think of something, isn't it? So after reading that, you feel somewhat uncomfortable there at the place of think for. Then you immediately choose that, think of a rival storied house. Then it will be a smoother one, you can understand. Now, Dattaram Vada were given the contract of construction. Dattaram Vada is only one person, but were is given in the place of was. How can you know that one? Yes, after practicing some subject verb agreement. Of course, I don't want to complicate your learning English with some grammar rules, which are unnecessary sometimes, even to know. The more you learn, the more you get confused. Not in that way, but a simple thing. The basic principle is knowing about subject verb agreement. Here subject is the Dattaram Vada and verb is given. So words you have to use. 1, 2, 3 are very easy for you. Maybe preposition, you may be getting some confusion, but these 3 are very well for us, right? Now, one day Bayaji saw Kondiba coming towards him and greeted her. See here also, it's a very simple one. Coming towards her. Okay, Bayaji is a male, so you have to use here. Yes, children, come on, tell me. Him. Okay, greeted him. It's with your blessings that I have ventured on this storied house. Children, I hope you have understood in simple steps how to write 13 to 17 answers for 13 to 17 questions. It's editing passage. It's very important to get 5 out of 5 marks for us. And one thing is practicing and making reading as your daily habit. That one can earn you 5 marks. And one more thing is, if you want to get marks instantly, you have to know about some basic rules. Okay, rules of grammar. Then you can add glamour to this editing passage. Okay, children, let's move on to another one, which can give you half mark, but very easy. Whereas we are getting 5 out of 5 marks in 13 to 17 questions in paper 1, which is from text based. But here, children, we are going to get only half mark, but it's very easy as there are some clues given in the box. Okay, children, first let's read all these things we have come through from our text, our lesson, the storied house for the last 4 days, right? Pandal, forthcoming, devotional, faltered, decorations, threat, and ceremonial. First, you have to read those words and get connected to the thing where you have learned them. Okay, now it is very easy. If you are connected with the story, it's very easy to do any textual based grammar, children. The village elders, by convention, could not be invited to a meal or refreshments. So they were invited to the dash pan supari. Okay, children, don't stop here. You have to go through the whole paragraph first. then you can easily understand what things come first. First, select one familiar thing to you. Out of those 5, you will be feeling very easy. Those 3 marks you can get very easily, and 2 will be somewhat twisted. But it's very easy to choose them if you read the paragraph twice along with blanks. Just you keep the blanks like that and read it. Then you go for selecting the right word from the box. Then it will be very easy. Bayaji put up a fine pandal in front of the house, right? Now invited to the guests, invited all the guests, all the village heads for ceremonial pan supari, which is very traditional. Ceremonial pan supari. See, children, are you feeling any difficult here? No. Yes. So many people, so many students called me yesterday regarding. I already gave you some tips. To write a very new ending in a very creative way, right, children? So for that, so many called me. I'm very happy for you, children, and all others who ever are trying very hard to do all these grammatical exercises. Really, I'm very happy, because practice and the nature of questioning only can enhance your language skills. Especially language is for practice. Unless or until you practice language, you cannot get any marks, or you cannot make it your own. First of all, make it your own, then it starts giving you some magics, right? Now, his sons worked hard for 2 full days on the, what is that? On the devotional or pandal or forthcoming or falter or decorations. Bayaji's sons worked very hard for decorating the house, right? So decorations, how to know this one? Yes, after reading that one, you can easily find out this one, children. In hesitation or in fear, I may not get it. I may not be able to write correct answer. So simply some people chose some words in a random way and put it and give the paper and go away, but should not do in that way, children. Don't fail in trying. Of course, after the exam you may fail, that doesn't matter, but while doing your work you never should fail. Practice and practice, only it can enrich and enhance your vocabulary. And whatever the success you're going to get, that comes only through continuous practice. Okay, now 2 full days on the decorations, relatives started arriving. Well-known dash singers. What type of singers were they? Are they movie singers? No, as we discussed in earlier part, that was devotional singers, right? Devotional singers, like all these people. And forward with delight to the what contest he conducted, and for what contest they are awaiting. Yes, the forthcoming, the contest which is going to come. That's all. Forthcoming. Is it easy, children? Yes, it's definitely easy. Remember these 3 things. First, you have to read the whole words what are given in the box. Second thing is you have to read the whole paragraph without fail. 3 or 4 times definitely. Though you understand or not, that doesn't matter, but you have to read it. Definitely your teacher's words will come into your mind when you are in the examination room, children. Believe in your teachers first, okay? And then believe in yourself. Those 2 are very important things. First is believe in yourself, and then believe in your teachers. Put some confidence and try in a confident way. Okay, children. Now, let's come to the part where you feel a little difficult, but it also going to give only half a mark. But it's very easy. Rewrite as directed. The news that Bayaji was building a storied house spreaded like a cry from the rooftops. There was only one storied house in the village, and which belonged to Kondeba Patil. That Bayaji, an untouchable creature, should think of a rival storied house was too much for Kondeba to bear. Others also murmured that the untouchables were forgetting their position. Work on the foundation had started. The Ramvada was given the contract of construct. Do you feel any difficulty or feeling uncomfortable to read this sentence, children? Yes, immediately while reading itself, you can understand something. What am I going to be asked in that form of question? Right, children? Here, spreaded. Isn't it somewhat unfamiliar and somewhat, are you feeling that I didn't come across this word? You feel sometimes in that way. Why? Yes, you are a regular reader. That definitely can make you feel even before the question is asked, you will be going to answer for some questions, children, believe me. Spreaded is somewhat uncomfortable. Immediately we go for the word spread, right? Now, shall we see what questions are asked for us? Write the correct form of the underlined word. What is the underlined word here? Spreaded. Immediately we can choose the word spread as it is uncomfortable for you to read. Next, use the correct word in the place of the underlined one. What is the word? Yeah, which. Village and which belonged to Kondiba Patil. Here in our lesson that is given, that particular house which we mentioned earlier, that belonged to Kondiba Patil. And the next word is rival. What are we going to do with that? Write the synonym of the underlined word. What is the synonym, children? We already discussed. Rival is nothing but enemy, right? Enemy, rival. These two are synonyms, same in meaning. Okay, now write the opposite word of the underlined word. What is that opposite word? Yeah, forgetting. Okay, children, it's very easy. From 6th or 7th onwards, you have been learning that forget. It's a very simple word, as the word suggests. Remembering, remember. Forget opposite, remember. And then construct. Already we felt some discomfort here, and Dataram Vadu was given the contract of construction. Okay, construction is the right word here. Yeah, replace the underlined word with its correct form of the word. Form means, is it a verb or an adjective? Which form you're going to use that in that place? Okay, children, with your permission, can I move on? Yeah, here we go. Now, phrases and idioms. Have you ever come across these phrases and idioms? Yes, children. If you have the habit of using these things in your language, either in speaking or in your writing, it really helps a lot to sound as a native speaker. And to understand a native speaker, you have to understand all these phrases and idioms, and you must be able to use in your speech or writing. Okay, idiom, it's nothing but is a group of words that has a different meaning from the actual meaning. Actual words are there given, but another meaning that will sound. Yeah. For example, break the ice. Your teacher might be using all these words in your classroom, children. Or if you watch some English movies regularly, which are very simple, of course, simple in content and context, then you will be able to understand all these things. Is very common and quite natural in the language of native speaker or who are well versed with English. Okay, if you want to be a well versed speaker in English, you have to use these phrases and idioms. Is there any relation between these phrases and idioms? Of course, children, as I promised, I never go deeper and deeper into complexing your already learned, already acquired knowledge of English or any grammar. Because as grammar and language, these both are interconnected and go hand in hand, children. Without grammar, you cannot speak. Without language also, you cannot speak or write. But grammatical rules, if you know it to some extent, it's very easy and comfortable for you. And if you go on learning them or focusing on them or concentrating only on them, it may hinder some your language acquaintance. It may hinder to progress in your language learning, children. That's my personal idea. I'm not against all grammarians. Of course, you have to learn as the body, flesh and blood and body. In these two, is the skeleton important for us or flesh and blood important for us? Which will you choose? Both are very important, children. Yes. So learning the skeleton, the grammar is also very important, but up to some extent. If you go on practicing only grammar, as I told you, you cannot go forward in acquiring language, children, using it. Okay, there may be some full stop, some disturbance. You may feel somewhat confused, chaotic state. You will be pushed. Okay, break the ice. Now, shall I break the ice? Breaking the silence. Breaking the ice means not literally breaking some avalanche or ice cube with some hammer, children. This is just breaking silence. After, if two friends are there for a longer period, they are in some quarrel or they are fighting for something, then if someone comes and shall we break the ice, because I can't remain in this way, not talking to you, my dear friend. So that is the breaking ice. One who comes first and reveals that secret and starts to settle the quarrel. In those situations, we can use this break the ice, break the silence. Okay, now over the moon. Over the moon, what do you mean by over the moon? Can we go and stay there on the moon? Of course, if you are a scientist and astronaut, you can go and do something, but not for that purpose. If you go on to the moon daily, I'm going over the moon, extremely happy. To say that no other equivalent word is there for me to say, I'm extremely happy now. Then you can say, I'm over the moon now because I got first rank in IIT or medicine or something else, something else, something else. When you want to say, I'm extremely happy, you can choose this idiom over the moon. I'm over the moon. Okay, children. So make them very beautiful. Now, you may get some doubt. What's the connection between these two? And what is a phrase and phrasal verb? And what is a class? Okay, children, even now, I'm not leading you into a confusion state. Just phrase is a just which is having no subject verb combination. You know very well what is the subject and what is a verb. Okay, children. Now, for example, on cloud 9, as I told you earlier in the earlier slide, over the moon is a phrase and I am over the moon now. That is an idiom. That is the connection between these two terms. On cloud 9, I'm on cloud 9 as I'm going to meet my favorite hero today. Okay, how do you feel when you are going to meet your favorite hero physically? Yes, you feel very happy. To exaggerate that, you can use this idiom, I am on cloud 9. Now, if we go for class, of course, it is not necessary here, but we in a couple of examples, we have to know that one phrase and class. If you know here, if you get some clarity here, then you will be getting no confusion in future. Class is a subject and verb combination. Just it has on subject and verb. For example, he visited my place yesterday. He is there, that is subject. Visited, that is already a verb. So full sentence is given here, that is the class. Class is with a verb and subject combination, and whereas phrase has no subject and verb. Next, Okay, what are phrasal verbs? Are you getting bored of that? No, children. I am going to show you some very interesting pictures and animations. Okay, stay tuned. It can get connected because these are very important for us to improve our knowledge, either by reading or by listening. Okay, listening, of course, it's very attractive sometimes because we tend to listen. In these corona days especially, we are very much used to watch and listen, right? Of course, you became somewhat lethargic. At the same time, we are getting more knowledge about our lessons, maybe anything else in the world. That is your own perception, how you use your holidays, right? Now let's go for phrasal verbs. Okay, what are phrasal verbs? There's a phrase and there's a verb. Those are connected together. That is a phrasal verb. Okay, I don't want to explain in detail because I want you to learn a functional grammar. That's it. No rules, no principles, only some basic ones. Okay. The farmer threatened to make his dogs attack us. You have to use set on, children. Set on, that is nothing more than attacking. The farmer threatened to set his dogs on to us. He threatened him as if his dogs are going to attack on us. Okay, set on means attack. Children, one more thing I forgot to remind you. These things are given after your lesson, the storied house. So these are very important for you to deal with grammar for answering in your question paper, and at the same time to enrich your language skill. Children, I have already told you, these are very beautiful expressions which enhance that language skill, your speech and ability of writing also. Okay, so let's move to the second one. I went to the airport to see off my uncle. See, children, saying goodbye. In another words, we can say, I went to airport to see off my uncle. It's way better. See, I went to airport to say goodbye or to bid goodbye to my uncle. That is somewhat. But when you come to the functional grammar, if you use this see off, it will be somewhat modern and attractive. I went to the airport to see off my uncle. Next one, third one. He had to hang around the office until it was opened. Hang around, hang. As the word suggests, hanging means hanging something around. Okay, hanging around. But children, by combining these two words, you have to understand it's giving another meaning. Hang around. That doesn't mean that's just waiting for someone or waiting for something to happen. Okay, he has to hang around the office because it was not open. Yesterday it was band, right? Without knowing that you went to one office, you had to hang around there because you do not know that there's no office, there's a holiday for that office. Okay, right, take it like that in that example, children. Now, shall I move on to the fourth one? I dozed off by the end of the film. Dozed off. When you feel a bit boring, what will you do after eating so many idlis and sitting in front of your TV for watching YouTube channel? Of course, there may be your lessons, but without your mom's glances, what will you do? You simply doze off for some time, right? The sleeping a short while. Okay, children. I dozed off by the end of the film. As the film is very boring, I dozed off. Dozed off. Okay. Now, next one. New schools are springing up now. Coming into being. Coming into force. Okay. That is a springing up. Okay. Beginning. Beginning, children. Now, shall we move on to the next one? Yeah, children. Let me take 1 second. Yes, children, give me a moment, please. Here, I want to show you some animations as already promised. See, children, what is he doing? He is hanging around. See, he is looking at his watch and passing time. and doing some unnecessary things. Okay, so he is hanging around. Now, what's this? Worn out. My shoes have worn out, so they're not at all usable. I must buy a new pair. Okay, now doze off. As I told you, he is dozing off. Who is he? Yes, you may know. But any person, as example, I took here children. Doze off means just taking a short while taking a nap and without others notice. Okay, now goodbye. Saying goodbye, we call it, what do we call? How can we say? See off. Okay, children, I hope you remember by seeing these animations. Now, phrasal verbs, already I added some. I decided to wind up the work by 5 p.m. Winding up, what do you mean by winding up? Yeah, bringing it to a conclusion. I want to complete it. I want to finish it. So wind up, that means, bringing it to a conclusion. You want to close that one. I want to wind up the work by 5 p.m. His shoes have worn out. They are no longer usable. Worn out because of wearing so many days or something, working very hard. They are worn out. Okay, she dashed off to pick up her daughter. Dashed off, rushed off, moving in a very quick way to do something else and elsewhere. Okay, dashed off. She left the meeting and dashed off to pick her daughter. The wedding has been put off to next month. Put off means just some postponement, children. The wedding has been put off to next month due to some reason, maybe corona pandemic. They are unable to do all the things. They put off the wedding. Okay. Let's move on to another phrasal verb, children, which is very commonly used and which is very difficult to understand sometimes. You know why? Because it is connected with so many phrases and so many verbs, so many prepositions. Sometimes it is with the adverbs, adjectives, like that. When it goes in that way, it might be somewhat difficult to understand these phrasal verbs. But what is the way to get them, to own them? Yes, nothing but practice again. Yes, children, if you go on reading, you will be very well acquainted, you will be very friendly with those phrasal verbs, and you can be using them confidently, because as you earlier, I mean, already passed them, right? Okay. Set back. Let me go quickly. Set back means to delay something or somebody. The accident set the project back several months. Okay, children, set back. It is the setback. You may call it another words. It is the failure. Setbacks are there. Maybe so many setbacks in your life. You have to come up. You have to go through. That's it. The mantra for leading a successful life. Okay, now set aside means here reserve something for particular aim. Set aside. I kept some money. I set aside some money for my daughter's education, so for my son's marriage, whatever it may be, children. Set aside. Okay, up. You save something for some purpose. That's it. Now up. Set up. Children, if you write in this way, then you can remember them really well. Okay, for your long-term memory, this is very helpful. Setup means to make something ready to use. I set up my laptop before the class. Before this class, I set all the things up. Okay, I set up. Now set forth means to begin a journey. I set forth for USA. I'm going to visit some countries. Set forth. First, you have to start your journey. Okay, now set in means to begin and seem likely to continue. The snow looks as if it has set in for the rest of the day. It seems like the summer sets in. Already summer is here, so we feel somewhat suffocating, then we can say summer has set in, it seems. Okay. Set about something means to begin doing something. We set about organizing a party. That is set about. Is there any difference between these two things? Some may be familiar and some may be somewhat synonymous, children. But you have to remember only in that way. Why? Why should we remember in the same way? Because it's not our own language. Already principles are made. We have to simply follow. Okay, children, here I want to give some animations for this, for these idioms. Then where can we get these idioms? There's one more question again. Yes, we can get these type of idioms and phrases to enhance whatever language skills. That is our prime aim, right? Then you have to go to a library. So many sources are there these days, even in this technological era, modern era. After this all happening, we are very much familiar with all these sites, right? You can go and Google them out. What are idioms? Then immediately with excellent illustrations, you can get all the idioms and you can remember them for a longer period. As I cannot give all these things here, I'm just touching on some. When I arrived here, I felt like a dash out of water. What must be there in this dash? Prawn, fish, crab. Have you ever heard of this, children? Yes, I'm feeling like out of water, fish out of water. Then what does it mean? The fish is there, it's out of water. Is it very happy, looking very happy? No, not at all, because its home is river, maybe the body of some water. Water body is its home. Now, children, whenever you feel uncomfortable in a new place, you can use this idiom. I felt like a fish out of water. If you ask me to say, when Corona holidays came, I really felt like a fish out of water because I have to lose all my regular classes and I have to come to online. Online, of course, it is not our home. I'm not used to it. So I felt somewhat uneasy, but afterwards I became very familiar with this, and I'm now mastering these techniques, how to come in online and how to meet you, how to reach you, and how to teach you children. Okay, now I'm feeling very comfortable and I feel at home now. Children, this is the opposite one. I feel at home. Whenever you feel very comfortable and you're enjoying that atmosphere, you can say, yeah, I'm good, totally feeling at home. Now, children, this is another, what do you call, idiom. Sometimes by seeing the picture itself, you have to say. I usually, what I do at my regular school is I show some pictures to them. They have to imagine what the idiom comes from those pictures. That's very funny game, interesting, but it's very easy. You can sustain your concentration on that very easily when you see that in the form of pictures. He is an outspoken man. He dash a spade a spade. A spade, already children, we have come to know spade in the lesson which is used for construction. Already I have shown you some pictures too, so that I took this example. He's an outspoken man. Outspoken means he can speak fearlessly and without any hesitation. If it is right, he says it is right. If he feels it's wrong, he immediately says it wrong, no matter who are there. Okay, he calls it a spade a spade. Okay, children, calls a spade means speaking the truth without any fear, speaking the thing whichever he feels in his mind, in his or her, of course. Don't take my words amiss. Now, and children, by seeing this picture, yeah, you understand something. There's a cock and there's a bull. Don't tell me a cock and a dash story. So what is left over here? Bull. Cock and bull story. What does it mean? When you are saying meaningless things, one cannot believe at all. then it will become a cock and bull story, just cooked up story
Madam, speed up.
instantly.
Madam, speed up.
Yeah. Yeah, cock and bull story, children. It's a very easy one. And then it's a dark horse. The parents got their daughter married. Now they are home free, house free, or residence free. What is that? Yeah, they are home free, children. When you are going off some burdens, that is called home free. Now, some more idioms, children. Just I'm going to conclude this session, idioms, phrases, and grammatical item session. Tomorrow in our next session, we are going to deal with spoken. Yeah, ma'am. I'm going to conclude it. Drop like flies. This is the quite often phenomena. Recently, we have seen even in news, some people are dropping like flies in a group. Okay, children. So that is what drop like flies. Next, here children, okay, if you go on, you may be having so many against your will, going against your will, that is against the grain. Okay, greasing someone's palm, it is giving a bribe to. Bite the bullet. Biting the bullet means you have to accept unpleasant things under some pressure or anything, like Bayaji went on. Okay. To move heaven and earth, I already mentioned, you feel doing the 13 to 17 question as moving heaven and earth. That is feeling very difficult, children. Okay, at 6s and 7s, it's very chaotic. Now, I want to conclude this session here. Thank you very much for bearing with me, and stay tuned for the next session. Okay, we are going to learn so many tips, on fingertips, how to speak very brilliantly, unlike a native and common speaker. Okay, children. Now,